Hello, beautiful people. I hope it is not too windy for you guys to hear me today. I actually just climbed to the top of a wild horse. Beautiful views for you all. Pop on and say hi as you're jumping on. Hashtag replay if you're catching the replay. I'm actually coming today with some taboo subjects. Some shit that actually really grinds my gears. Some shame and guilt, basically, is what I want to come to speak to you about today. And it has taken me years to show up and discuss this topic because I have carried shame and I have carried guilt around motherhood and being a shit mum and being someone that has suffered with mental health myself, being someone that works in the mental health field, and I help other mothers and I help people to overcome this shit. Now, I'm going to share with you guys some stuff that a lot of people don't know about my children. And it has taken a while for me to get the guts to share this because I had to really consider how it would affect my children as well as me. But, sitting in silence and not saying anything about what happens behind closed doors is not doing my children any good. It's actually continuing the cycles, and it's actually teaching my children to be shameful and to hide it and to keep it as a taboo subject. So it's not until we really start shining a light on these subjects are they ever going to fucking disappear. So my now nearly 17-year-old daughter went through a phase a few years ago that we found out that she had been cutting. And she had cut her legs, and straight away, my first thing was that I took it as in it was about me. And this is the thing we do as parents is we make it about us when it's not about us. It's about our children. And we can very much go straight into this. This means that I'm a bad mum. This means that I'm not doing my job properly. And then we hide behind shame and guilt and fear of judgment from other people. And in the end, our children are the ones that suffer because by us showing up in this way, it's instilling this message into our children to be shameful around it, to feel guilty around it. And it needs to be put on the table and it needs to be discussed because the reason that our children go and do these things is when they don't feel safe to speak to us, when they don't know how to express their emotions, because it's our job as their parents. And quite often, I'm just going to pop you guys up here so that I'm not like walking around holding you. I have been through different stuff in my motherhood journey, and it has been a reoccurring theme that has happened again and again, and it has just happened with my son as well. So my son, we just noticed a few weeks ago, had scraped the words hell into his arm. Hell. And straight away I went back into this, what am I doing wrong as a mum? I must be doing something wrong. Well, yeah, I fucking am doing something wrong. I did it wrong with Madeline. Instead of, hiding behind the shame and hiding behind the guilt and the fear of judgment of what other people would think of me as a mother, I needed to put this on the table and reassure her and say to her, like, this is okay. What has happened. Now let's talk through your emotions. What has led you to do this kind of thing? Like, how are you feeling? Why weren't you feeling safe to come to me? The thing with me as a person and what my children have really taught me, yes, I'm really good at delving into emotions and stuff like that and talking openly about stuff, but I'm good at it when I'm ready to speak about it. Okay, so when our children come to us, quite often they catch us off guard and we go into a defense and we, for me personally, it was a kind of a shock, this emotional outburst, this I'm not very fucking approachable kind of thing, that initial shock of when they first come to me. And it's about not being triggered. It's about not taking it personally. It's a shock to our system when we find that our kids are not handling or not coping things, but we need to get better at regulating our emotions, at delving into our triggers, we need to get better at responding to our children in a safer way so that they feel safe to come to us and to speak to us openly. Now, I've had it again this morning. I broke down in tears this morning because I was like, I'm such a bad mum. What the fuck am I doing wrong? My daughter doesn't want to go to school. She was bullied at her first school. We moved her to another school. She was again subject to bullying. She went to a third school. She again was subject to bullying. She went to a fourth school. She's at the fourth school and she's subject to bullying. Straight away, I fell into these old patterns. I was in my head. I'm going, oh my God, it must be something to do with Talisha. Like, what is going on? It must be something to do with me as a mum. And after I rang and I spoke to the principal and I said, this girl is saying that Talisha has pushed her down the stairs and now all of these kids are like ganging up on her. And he confirmed with me that it was actually untrue and that this one child had made this up and turned all of the kids against her. Now, the interesting part that we found with Talisha was, instead of moving away from these few children, because it's such a big school, she was even told that she could volunteer on the SRC and different stuff. So instead of her moving across to this other group of children, she kept gravitating towards the children that were bullying her. And that's when I clicked. That's when I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, you've all heard of the 7-year cycle, right? So from ages 1 to 7, that is like, it's a huge part of our conditioning. It's a huge part of shaping us and who we become as people. So from age 1 to 7, Talisha had a really rough trot. That was when I had come clean from my drug addiction. That's when I was misdiagnosed bipolar. I was at the lowest of lows. She was getting bullied severely at her first school and no one was being a voice for her. People were blaming her and making it out that it was her fault. And yes, okay, she was a difficult child that had trouble regulating her emotions, but the messages that she got given to her in those early years was that basically it was her fault and she deserved to be treated this way. So I suppose like what I'm really coming on here today to shine a light on is kids suffer with mental health in every single family. It doesn't matter. Like, mental health does not discriminate. It does not mean that you're a bad mother. It does not, it does not say anything about you as a mother, but by you not speaking about it, by you not speaking and expressing your emotions and how you're feeling around shame and guilt, you're doing no one any favors. You're not doing your children any favors. You're basically teaching them to keep stuck in these cycles of shame and guilt. And it will keep going on and it will keep going on until we break that cycle and we speak up about it. And although my children will probably kill me and say, Mum, why are you speaking about it? Because it's nothing to be shameful about. It's something that happened. You did the best you could do with the cards that you were dealt at that time. You were trying to learn how to regulate your emotions and your mother wasn't there for you. And this is the thing, I wasn't there for my children because I didn't know how to regulate my emotions. How the fuck was I going to teach my children how to regulate my emotions? I can't stay stuck in victim mentality. I can't stay stuck in shame and guilt and continue to beat myself up and, I'm a shit mum, I'm a shit mum, I'm a shit mum. No, okay, what happened? How can you fix it? And the answer always is going within, guys. Go within. What is it that your child is mirroring to you? What is it? Like, our children are our biggest teachers. Like, here we are as parents thinking that we've got these little people that we get to teach and guide, and we help them grow their wings and off they go and they fly the nest some sooner than what we expect. Like, my 2 have already gone off to their dads, but there was guilt and shame around. Our kids are sent to teach us just as much as we are sent to teach them. And by beating yourself up, by staying silent, by not speaking about it, you're going to stay stuck. You're going to feel alone. When you stop giving a fuck what other people think about you and you stay in your own lane and you work on yours and your family's needs, you work on improving yourself so that you're that's when you start to see a change and a growth in your children. Because whenever we're worrying about what someone else is going to fucking think of us and an opinion, here our children are suffering in the background. This is what ego does, and we need to let our guard down. We need to be vulnerable. We need to be speaking about mental health awareness. We need to be speaking about bullying, because we can't control what other children do to our children, but what we can control is we can control building our children up and building their resistance up so that they're strong enough to know that when people bully them, it's not about them. It is about the other person. And my Talisha this morning, she didn't want to go to school. She wanted to run away from it. And we used to let her run away from it because, yeah, it can become too much. But I said to her, like, this is different. Your vice principal knows that this is different. He is on your side. She was so stuck in the old conditioning of that first initial school where she was blamed and she was put down, and it was not handled right at all. So she was stuck in this. So every single school that she went to, it would replicate and it would continue to happen. And rather than her stick up for herself and say, no, I didn't push that girl down the stairs, she retreated because she was like, well, there's something wrong with me and I can't stand up to this bully because then they're all going to hate me. And we need to shine a light on it. We need to teach our children how fucking amazing they are. We need to build them up. We need to teach them self-love so that the outside world can't fucking affect them. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but this is a hot freaking tip that I have learned. I've only just learned it recently, actually, and it was within our platform, and it's around NLP coaching and stuff like this. And it's a hot little tip that you guys can use at home for your kids as well, and even for yourself. So the first 10 minutes in the morning and the last 10 minutes at night, your subconscious is running, right? So most of our programming is our subconscious mind. Like, we only use, I can't remember the percentage, but it's something like 5%, right? That we use of our mind. The rest of it is our subconscious. So for the first 10 minutes in the morning and for the last 10 minutes at night, it is so important to be practicing self-love and to be speaking to ourselves kindly. So if we're in a habit of waking up with our phone and social media and seeing all the negative that's going on in the world, and we're so, we fall asleep with our phone in our hand as well. If we are going to bed and waking up with negativity, then we're going to feel like fucking shit. So I challenge you all, like, make yourself some kind of just a beautiful routine that you can share with your children. Maybe that might be listening to meditations or something of a nighttime, positive affirmations. I'm going to be doing over in the holistic lifestyle movement. So I've actually combined my groups as well, guys. So I'm going to be over there really just offering everything. Like, of course, there's the online business opportunity if you are looking to partner time and financial freedom. But amongst that, I'm going to be sharing about our health in all areas across the board. So we're going to be doing a 28-day gratitude practice if anyone wants to delve into that. And I found that really amazing with my children. And we have slipped the bandwagon and we haven't been doing it recently. And I have noticed a big shift in my house and our mental health. And there's so much craziness going on in the world right now. But the one thing we can control is our mindset and the thoughts that we feed our own mind. So I'm going to be offering that over there. We've actually got an epic masterclass coming up, and I'll be releasing details around that Thursday. The group will be open, and people pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to find their purpose, and not living with a purposeful life and not living to serve and in abundance, and being stuck in this social conditioning of 9-to-5 grind and being on the fucking hamster wheel. That is one of the biggest causes of depression. So we will have that masterclass coming up. People pay thousands of dollars to find their purpose. We're going to be doing it for free. So I'll be offering that one. We'll be offering the 28-day gratitude practice for anyone that wants to delve into that. And I'm going to be offering Zoom calls each week with that one too, so that we can really create a container, a container of mums and dads and grandmas and whoever else wants to jump into this container, so that we can come together and support one another, because community is what we need at this time. And although a lot of us have been in lockdown and we've been locked away from our loved ones, we've still got the online space. We've got Zoom, we've got technology. We can jump on there. We can have a dance party. We can discuss what's come up and the positive mindset shifts that we get from doing this gratitude practice. So like, if anyone's keen on this, if anyone thinks this is an amazing idea, please just chuck in the comments a hell fucking yeah. I'll add you into the holistic lifestyle movement. As I said, yeah, we've got lots of exciting things coming up. I've just finished my dance up here for day 2 of the Moving for Mental Health Challenge. That's another thing I've got going on. And it's really raising awareness around the importance of moving your body, because our health is about so much more than the number on the scales, guys. And it always comes back to how we feel and our mental health. And when we're focusing on how we look, that's not what's going to make you happy. The aesthetics come with it naturally when you start to nurture and love your body the way that she deserves to be loved. So that's all my heart shares today, guys. The most important message is, if you are a mum and your children are, suffering in silence, if you've had kids that have been bullied, if you've had kids that have cut, if you've had kids with eating disorders, if you've had kids that have had this stuff going on, it's not a fucking reflection of you as a mother, okay? It doesn't mean that you're a bad mum. It means that your kid is crying out for help, and you need to create a safe container where your child can come and talk to you. And a lot of the time, as mums, we let our ego up so fucking high, we let shame and guilt consume us, and then it becomes this vicious cycle where our kids don't come to us for help. So that is my message today, guys. Like, speak what's on your heart. And if you're not brave enough to speak, if you're feeling that people are going to judge you via social media, or if you comment, then please reach out to me privately. Like, send me an inbox. I'm always here. I've got safe containers going on everywhere. And although I have shut down my women's healing circle and I have shut down the Holistic Health and Healing Hub, I'm bringing it all into one group, the Holistic Lifestyle Movement, so that I can add a shit ton of epic value for everyone in one space. Because when we come together, we're stronger in numbers. Yes, we're strong alone, but power is in numbers, guys. And I want you all to know that you are not alone. And if you feel alone, please reach out, because I would love to be there to support you. I love you all so much. I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day. Please feel free to tag any friends that you think that might need to hear this message today, or feel free to share this video with other people that might need to hear it, because you are not alone, guys. I love you all, and I'm sure you will see my face again soon. Bye, guys.